Drake is just one of those artists that you either love him or you hate him. He's been in the spotlight for so long now that we've all been able to witness some of his major triumphs and his biggest losses. I gotta admit, I was on the hate train for a while, but I'm kinda over it now. But there are some people that no matter what will ride or die for this dude. I'm talking bend over backwards, defend, and worship him as if he can do no wrong. And although there are many of them, today I'll be talking about the one that might have taken it a bit too far. This is the curious case of Drake's biggest superfan. Turning back the clock to 2011, the world was a much different place. Facebook was really poppin', MW3 had just dropped, the swag era was in full effect, LMFAO had the clubs going crazy, and Drake was just beginning his rise into the limelight. He had seen amazing commercial success with his debut album in 2010, but people were unsure if he would ever be able to replicate it. Yet, only 17 months later, Drake released his second studio album, Take Care, that commercially completely blew his first out of the water, selling 631,000 copies in its first week alone. It was clear that he, alongside his YMCMB collaborators, had the music industry in a chokehold. Their fanbase spread across the entire globe, yet there was one that would easily stand out above all the rest. It was an average day in California's City of Angels. The Will Rise tattoo shop, located on North Fairfax Avenue, was going on with business as usual. A customer walks in and eagerly requests a tattoo, so Kevin, one of the shop's artists, agrees and gets the job done. His boss Norm snaps a few photos of the process and later decides to upload them to social media, not expecting much of it. Almost immediately, the pictures go viral. People could not believe they were real. A face tat back then was a little unheard of, but a face tattoo that says "f***ing Drake" was something no one could have ever predicted. Straight away, the internet had so many questions, mainly how and why, but that wouldn't be answered until a Vice interview on December 8th, 2011 with Kevin, the tattoo artist, where he details the encounter and states his thoughts on the whole ordeal. According to Kevin, the unnamed eyebrowless woman came into the parlor super hyped on the idea of the tattoo. She acted as if she had planned it out for a while. She had the font all picked out on her iPhone, ready to go, and was pretty adamant on putting it on her forehead. She didn't go into detail on the meaning behind it, and Kevin, having prior experience tattooing Crip members in Harbor City, assumed it was the woman's hood or something. Before he put the stencil on her, he made sure to lay out the potential consequences of such an outlandish face tat. And after giving her 3 chances to change her mind, he finally printed out the first image of the tattoo, and the woman was not satisfied. She wanted me to go bigger so that it pretty much went from each side of her hairline to the other. She had me enlarge it a bit and push it up. Once she agreed on the placement, Kevin got to work, in the end only completing the outline as that's all the woman could afford. I think by the time I finished she was coming down off drugs because her attitude changed drastically once the tattoo was finished. But since Kevin had done crazier tattoos, and he's also a firm believer in people getting the tattoos they deserve, he didn't think much of this piece at all. Yet, things totally changed once the pictures hit the internet and he learned the true meaning of the tattoo. Both tattoo artists and the general public were grilling him for going through with such a piece. Kevin was disappointed to figure out that the woman was just a crazy fan and started getting mixed feelings about the tattoo, stating, "I guess I feel bad that this got the name of the softest motherfucker in hip-hop tattooed on her, but what makes it any less valid of a tattoo to her? I lost a little sleep over it that first night, wondering if I wanted to be known as that asshole who tattooed Drake on some crackhead's forehead." The image continued to circulate online and eventually reached its way to Drake himself.
What up, Mondo Fresco, my man Drizzy Drake?
Yes, what's going on?
Yo, have you seen this picture?
I have.
What are your thoughts on it?
I want to meet her and understand what happened. That's cool though. Like I feel you 100%. That to me is like absolutely incredible. I don't know if you can see it, but this girl tattooed Drake on her forehead. The guy who tatted it is a f***ing asshole though. I will tell you that. I don't f*** with that guy. F*** you to that tat artist, by the way, because you're an ass for real. And you should lose your job and you should never do tattoos again. I don't f*** with you, and if I ever see you, I'm gonna f*** you up. But real though, I really like. I want to talk to this girl and understand it all. You know. I know, yeah, no, straight up. No, it was love. I mean, it's crazy. It's surreal. I don't even want to look at it anymore because it's super surreal, you know. Yeah.
As you can tell, Drake was not happy, and his call out towards the artist drew more attention towards Kevin and the tattoo. To add more fuel to the fire, Kevin responded to the video saying he would totally fight Drake, leading to a slew of Drake fans to talk shit and threaten him on Twitter, saying things like, "Bitch ass dude, don't ever talk shit about OVO, you gon' get dogged out, and "Bitch, you not about that life, calm your turkey chop neck ass down," and "Quit trying to get fame off Drake, you cunt. Don't nobody give a fuck about you. Use a non-mother factor." The man was fighting for his life online and spent the rest of his Christmas week responding to people and defending himself. On December 29th, right before the New Year's, things got a bit more real. Drake actually decided to pull up to the tattoo shop where Kevin was working. However, it didn't go exactly as you'd think. Kevin noted on Twitter that Drake pulled up in a limo, but never actually stepped out of the vehicle, instead opting to send some of his bodyguards inside the shop to have a little chat with Kevin. They told him that, quote, "Nobody in the state of California was going to hurt Drake," before leaving and driving off. People clowned the interaction online, and a couple weeks went by before things were seemingly hashed out between the two. Kevin tweeted out, "Drake beef officially squashed. Everyone can now move on. Only positivity from here on out." Apparently, he and Drake shook hands outside the shop, and both agreed things had gotten a little out of hand. Many years later, in 2019, Kevin made his last social media post talking about the incident, where he stated that he and his boss apparently scared Drake's security guard out of the shop with weapons. Yet after all this time, there still has been the lingering question of who this mystery woman was and how she was doing after the tattoo. She never went back to the shop to complete it, and also didn't leave her number on the consent form, so there was no way of contacting her. Years went by without any information until in 2019 when a user by the name of the_X commented on a lipstickalley.com post asking about the woman's whereabouts. "I saw her in a place that's notorious for getting heroin. I wasn't buying any drugs, just passing through. She still has the tattoo and was walking around dazed and talking to herself, possibly high, but obviously insane." Now, I'm not sure if this person is telling the truth or not, but it doesn't seem like a very unlikely outcome. There are other people online claiming the woman passed away or is in prison, but again, no evidence is ever presented, so things are left a mystery. I personally am just going to believe Reddit user beer_is_tasty's post and conclude that after Drake lost a lot of popularity, she got the tattoo altered and started working as a highway construction flagman, with the tattoo now saying "break." In all seriousness though, this is a pretty crazy and sad situation. The woman literally ruined her entire life in just a couple hours with this tattoo. The tattoo artist was technically just doing his job, but the fact that he mentioned he noticed she was on some kind of drugs does make the whole situation a lot more unfortunate. I'm really surprised that no one has been able to provide any information on the woman, as she can probably be recognized from a mile away. But all I can hope is that she's doing better and that maybe one day we'll get a real conclusion to this story.
Perfect.